Good evening, YouTube. Stuart here in my shed. Tonight I've shown a new project I'm working on. I've got these three birch bowls. Now you can see all three of them. I turned these in April of last year. It's now August of 25, so they're over a year old. They've been sitting on the shelf. What I'm going to do with these bowls is I'm going to turn them to kind of a big cereal bowl size with a small foot and ebonize the outside. I've made some ebonising solution with some steel wool and some vinegar, and it's over in a jar back behind the camera on the workbench. These bowls, this grain is very plain. You probably can't even see the grain lines, but they're very wide. The grain, this tree grew really fast, like some birch can. This one here in particular is almost a ½ inch wide, which is about 13 millimeters. So 12, 13 millimeters. So very, very, very fast growing tree. Uh, this one here, I see it has some cracks right there. There. Another one there. Of course, this is the end grain. There's another one on this side. And this one looks like it goes clear into here on the edge. So I don't know if this one will be salvageable or not, but I'm going to try. There's that one and that one and that one and that one and that one. Those may just be surface cracks, but this one here, you're going to have to keep an eye on that. So, and then here's my other blank. I've already done one of these, so if you follow me on Instagram, you can go to my Instagram page, and it's Iwanna338, IWANNA338. That's my Instagram. Go over there and look at the one I did that's ebonized. I've got pictures of it posted. Also did a post earlier today about a post on my channel here about these bowls, and it shows the finished first run. I have this tree came from a coworker of mine, and I kind of want to give him, 3 popcorn or cereal bowl size bowls, but because it's him, his wife, and his 2 boys, so everybody has their own bowl. That's my logic anyway. But anyhow, got a little crack right there. Doesn't appear to run through there. These are covered in dust. My shed is dusty, so I don't know what yours is like, but anyway, I'm going to get these rounded over. I'm going to just turn one tonight for the video, and then we'll see where this goes. Just hold tight with me. Just going to put it up against here. Actually, I'm going to do the Richard Raffin thing and put a groove on the inside here, and then hold it with my fat jaws that I've got over behind the camera on my hurricane chuck. And the tenon is out around a little bit, which you got to expect. Wood dries. It's what it is. So you can see it wobble there as I hand spin it. So I'm sure got a good grip on it here. Not even all the way seated. I see. There we go. That's a little better. All right, it's all seated. So if you notice, I got a smock on tonight. This is the first time I've had one. Thank you, Craft Supplies USA. I paid for this. It's not a gift or anything like that. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Although if somebody wants to sponsor me, feel free to. I can't live it. Anyway, if somebody wants to sponsor me, go right ahead. I'm okay with that. We'll figure it out. So here we go. This is just a square end scraper right here. That should be enough. Get my skew to put the angle. That angle is right there, is perfect for my dovetail and my big jaws. My ½ inch bowl gouge from robust tools. Really like this couch. I knew I was hitting something. I could hear that knot. I'm going to move the mic up closer to my mouth. Anyway, that's good enough for that. Step around behind the camera, get my chuck. This is a Hurricane 100 with their large, deep jaws. They're heavy-duty jaws. I'm glad I bought that chuck. It's a nice chuck to use. The jaws do this kind of work really well. I don't know if it's as good a quality chuck as this. This is a one-way stronghold. It's another excellent chuck. It's just a tad bigger. This Hurricane 100 is a 4-inch chuck. The one-way stronghold's a 4.5. So, but anyway, I'm just going to use that groove right there. Put it over the jaws and expand the jaws into it. Just like that. Make sure I got it seated real good. Don't have to reef it down too much. And there we are. Now I can do the complete bottom the way I want. What I'm going to do for the bottom is I'm going to make it small. It's going to be really extra small. And it's going to fit inside here. This is my little Nova G3. And these are the standard 50 millimeter 2-inch jaws. I'm going to make it fit inside here to where I can just squeeze it. I'm going to leave just the little tenon. It's going to be a little tiny foot. And I'm going to be able to grip it with the dovetail on this without damaging it. You wait and see. It'll work. Try to stop yammering on for hours. Speed's around 1,000. Just going to clean up the outside here. I knew I could hear myself hitting something. So I'm trying to look at the upper horizon here to see where my curve is and see whether it's smooth or lumpy or got ridges or whatever, and I can still see it needs some work. And this scraper is my version of the refiner, but it's not doing quite what I want it to because it's not wide enough, so I'm going to use the skew. The thing with birch is it's very soft, so you could actually use the 80 grit gouge to even some things out if you need to. Now I got some tear out I got to fool with. Time to put a new edge on this. Well, that's a lot better. Still got a little bit right there. I'll flip that over. This is something I do to help myself see, have a visual cue of where I need to do what. So, time for sanding. Yellow 180. Changing over to a 3-inch arbor. When I do the inside, I'll probably go back to a 2-inch, but for the outside, I think I'm going to do 3-inch. All right, I'm going to stop there. See, I got a little bit of gunk in there I got to get out. There's that piece of 240. Try and clean up these grooves a little bit. All right. Got a knot right there. Got another knot right there on the edge, but I'm not too worried about that. Now for the ebonising. Get on some gloves here while I can. Get my handy dandy little bed protector board here. Put this up out of the way. All right, this is my homemade ebonising solution. Steel wool, vinegar. You can see how black it is. I'll just say right up front, this is only the second time I've ever done this. But that's okay. Probably going to take 2 coats. I'm just slopping it on here. Nothing fancy. Not worried about running over onto the front edge of the chuck. Of course, the end grain is going to soak up more than the side grain. We all know that. That's just wood. Now I'm going to let that sit and seal this back up before I spill anymore. But it's a pretty even coat. Alright, so that's where I think I'm going to stop for this. When I get a second coat, I'm going to put a second coat on here after a bit. And then we'll bring it back. There'll be a part 2. Don't have a way to edit things, sorry. But you can see it's kind of brought the grain out a little bit more. Maybe you can't see it in the camera. I can see it here with my naked eye. So anyway, obviously, probably got to do it. The second coat will probably make it, I'll Scotch-Brite it a little bit with a red Scotch-Brite. And then it'll be, put a second coat on, and will be kind of a chocolate brown color. So stay tuned for part 2.